All right, I'm the flatratemaster, and today we're doing a deep dive into my plier drawer. All right, so this is going to be a deep dive into my plier drawer on my roll cart. Now, the pliers in my toolboxes are, well, specialty duplicates and don't get used all that often. So we're going to talk what's in my roll cart. First off, one of my favorite hose clamp pliers, you know, the spring clamps. Now these were originally put out by AST, but the company that makes them overseas has since sold them to pretty much everybody. I will put affiliate links in a pinned post in the comments, so if you want to buy any of these tools, they're there. But these are spring-loaded pliers, and they've got grooves to, you know, grab onto the face of the clamp. These are still my favorite hose clamp plier tools. This one is Matco branded, but again, all made in the same plant, so don't spend 40 bucks on them. All right, so I'm gonna trigger some people because, well, these are snap-on, 45-degree needle nose pliers. I also have a 90. Actually don't carry a straight one in there other than an extended reach one, but these are my favorite needle nose. The 45-degree comes in handy for doing some of those hose clamps that are in weird places. I've used a bunch of different brands, and well, the snap-ons are the best that I have found. I know I'm gonna trigger some people. I've tried Sunex, I've tried a couple other brands. Matco sucks. Yeah, snap-on, best I've found. So these are my go-tos. I also have in my roll cart a straight long version of this in snap-on and a 45-degree. Now, if I had a snap-on dealer, I would replace this one with one from snap-on because, well, these flex. The snap-on ones flex way less. So definitely, and they're kind of rusting. You know, whatever. But, you know, using them in awkward positions, you know, needle nose pliers, but the snap-ons are still better. The snap-on ones are actually like 20 plus years old, never been warranted, never lost it, and, well, it's good. Knipex, Nipex, side cutters. I've got 3 different sizes. They cut things, cotter pins. They use cotter pins to yank them out, all that kind of good stuff. They're side cutters. Continuing to trigger, snap-on slip joint pliers. You know, grabbing things, various things. I prefer the snap-ons. Well, 1, because they're orange, and 2, because they just work with how I work with a pair of pliers. My last set of go-to pliers was actually Craftsman. So I'm not a snob, but these are longer, so, and they're just the standard. They're not the geared in the middle funky things. I just like how they work, so, you know, maybe someday I'll find a different pair of pliers that I like that's a different brand, but right now I like these. All right, next tool, well, isn't technically pliers. It's a pair of Milwaukee Scissors, but it fits in my plier drawer, so I'm going to include it. Cutting things like, well, hoses or, you know, the stupid trim to fit hose, you know, that fit like 14 different applications, but, you know, shorter, longer, you know, if you can't get OE, they cut things. Pinch off pliers. These are gear wrench. They're okay. They don't hold the greatest, but they're okay. I have these Mac Tools hose clamp pliers that are, you know, based on vice grips. They're probably made by Irwin. They're okay. One of the problems I have is when you're trying to lock it down and you're not quite, you know, you can't get it locked. So you go to adjust it and they pop a little bit and then all of a sudden you got to redo it. That's my only issue with them. Once you get them in there and on there solid, it ain't coming off till you release it. Now I also have a pair of needle nose vice grips, and I will attest to the fact that Irwin's quality has dropped because those are warranties and they're not as good. So if you've got old Irwins, hold on to them. I'm an automotive YouTuber, so these are required. Fan pliers. You know, I'm sure you've seen videos on these, you know, grabbing onto things they shouldn't be able to grab onto, turning out screws and stuff like that. And yes, I have actually successfully used them to like that. I've also had them fail considerably as well, but they come in handy, so they stay in the drawer. All right, next up, these are gear wrench, and they're just, you know, panel clip tools. Every now and then I have to use these based on, you know, going into a small little hole or whatever, because that's a good place to put a panel clip. But my go-to are these. These are, you know, you grab hold of the panel clip and you lever it out. They work the best of anything I have found. These are branded Dent Fix, but like the AST hose clamp pliers, everybody and their brother sells these now because they're all made in the same plant. So I will try to link a more affordable version of these in the comments. I also have Nip-X, Knip-X, Cobras in 3 sizes for, you know, all my Cobra needs. Another one I have from Nip-X is these itty bitty little needle nose. Grabbing the small little things, just, you know, picking them up, pull them out, and they, you know, they come in handy for little small places. All right, the last tool I'm going to talk about is not used for its intended purpose at all, but they are snap ring pliers. The outside kind that, you know, you have to have the little grippies. They're real common in transmissions. We see them less in, you know, general automotive, but they do come in handy for that. But why I actually have them is if you work on Volkswagens, you know those little lug bolt caps with the little hole in the center? That tip is the perfect size to lever in there and pop it out. Now yes, you can use a right angle pick, but it's a pick, so chances are you slip, you're bleeding. So I use these because they're dull. I already owned them, they work perfectly, so they get a spot in my roll cart. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thanks for watching. I am the Flat Rate Master.